think I've got it. I should be connected now. Hello, hello. Can you hear me? Hear me all right? Yeah, I was trying to get connected a second ago, and for whatever reason, it was like, "Yo, video's not working." Like it wouldn't even let me go live. Like, Streamlabs itself was like, "Bruh, you got an outdated driver or something," and I was like, "Do I?" But apparently I did. Yeah, I went through NVIDIA, did a little update, and seemed to be actually functioning now. Um, so yeah, just gonna be kind of chilling here. Not really gonna be playing the game or anything tonight. Figured I would chat for a little bit before I head off. Well, I was gonna say to bed, but work's a little crazy. So I've got some stuff I need to get done this evening. So that's why, you know, gonna have to cut this a little short. Work's work. I like getting paid, so you know what I mean? So yeah, I'm gonna do a little bit of work, and I'm going to bed. I have a little bit of a headache too, so I figured, you know what? I'm just gonna do something chill, just do something chill, something relax. But yeah, figured also give me a little bit of time to sort of give sort of an update on just things in general. Got a haircut today. Got a little bit of a haircut today, so that was nice. Yeah, a little bit of a haircut situation. Uh, I really, in retrospect, I should have said something. Like, I feel like the top, because usually what I'll do, right? I ask them to do, just like trim, right? Like with scissors on the top, and then around the sides they'll do, the buzz cut, right? So usually I go with about a 3 for the buzz cut, on the sides, right? I asked, with spring and summer and everything coming up, it's gonna be warm, right? And this is what I usually do around this time. I asked for a 2, but I feel like they didn't cut the top down to like match as well. So you can kind of see it's like almost like there's like a border where it's like a huge, I don't want to say huge difference, but like a noticeable difference between like where the scissor cut starts and the buzz on the sides began. I guess kind of like a crew cut, right? Kind of like a modified crew cut, I guess. But yeah, I should have said something. I didn't. So now I kind of have like, now I just gotta wait for it to grow back out. But you'll have that. Yeah, I should have said something, but yeah, went with the 2, and I don't think that they really compensated the extra length on the top. So it's not like, well, I've got just a long top bit of hair and just the 2 on the sides, Like I should have said something, but anyway, I've been rambling on about that for too long now. A couple other things. So the camera I'm using right now, I'm actually pretty impressed with it. I'm not gonna lie. Um, this camera is only 30 FPS, I think. But the thing is, for this camera though, I mean, it's got some pretty good video output. I mean, it's comparable, if not better, than the webcam I've been using. But this particular one, so this camera, I actually have it off of its mount right now. This camera is designed as a, what's a good way to put it? Not really a projector camera, right? But one of the ones that you set up, you have your little, your stand for it, I just call them top-down cameras, where it's, like if you're trying to do a video or a picture of, like a surface, that's what it is. But I figured, if I can take it off, then I might as well test it out. So this is the camera with like no additional like video edits or any kind of filters or anything. Like this actually looks pretty solid, considering I haven't modified the video, this camera at all yet. So that actually, hey, plus this company, I'll have to post them somewhere or something. Give them credit. Plus it was only like $50, and I was just like, geez, like $50 for a top-down camera, with the mount and everything for it. Plus, it's like not even that bad of a camera unto itself. Like, hey, I'll go with it. I'll go with it. But no, I got it for work. I figured that it would make parts of my job a bit easier. So, if I had to try to scan something, because the thing is, I could have gotten, rather. I could have gotten like a printer, right, with a scanner and all that, but I figured you know what? Why spend like 150 bucks for something that I'm probably only going to probably use like, I mean, as far as printing, something I'd probably only use to print like, I don't know, like 10 things, maybe a year, you know what I mean? When I could just do just like a camera like this that could just kind of do it for me. Um, yeah, because you know the stand and everything, it's set up to where like you could put a piece of paper in it, right, and then get like a pretty decent picture out of it. So that's kind of what I went with. And for the price, I mean, you figure 150 for like a printer and scanner combo, right? I mean, they make independent scanners, but I figured, yeah, get something multi-purpose, you know. It'd help with work a little bit and help with just personal stuff. And that's gonna be my next bit. So, I won't say that this purchase of the little camera here, hello, little camera. I won't say that it was entirely work driven. It wasn't entirely work driven. I actually personally kind of wanted to get it, and this gave me justification into getting it. But no, what I want to do now that I have like a decent top-down camera, I wouldn't mind doing some I don't know what's a good way to put it, like non-digital things on the channel, if that makes sense. So like one thing, and I actually might spoil it here in a minute. I might pan over to it. But yeah, like board games and stuff. Like I feel like board games would be really cool. There's a lot of really cool like solo style board games that I would love to play. There's one that a lot of people probably don't know about. Sorry, my brain just shut off. Hand of Fate. Hand of Fate is solid. Like I mean I love the game series. Like Hand of Fate, the game series was great. But yeah, the board game, Hand of Fate Ordeals, that is a solid pick. Like I really like Hand of Fate Ordeals. But now that I have a camera that I can do stuff like that with, like I'm totally down for that. Like I absolutely want to try to do some of that kind of stuff. And like I said, with while the purchase, I do have applications for work that I can use it for. It having those justifications gave me enough reason to where it's like, okay, I'm just gonna make a personal purchase. Like I said, I mean it's all of 50 bucks. But honestly, this camera, like I'm impressed. Like I'm impressed by this camera, man. Like it's a pretty solid camera. And I mean, considering I haven't done any editing with the filters or anything for it, like pretty good. Pretty good. That being said, like I said, it's 30 FPS. I mean, not that you can really tell. I mean, honestly, a lot of people say that going with a lower FPS for like your camera is actually better in a way, because the thing is, unless you have a very very high sort of high-end camera, like running it at 60 FPS generally just kind of, it points out the imperfections a lot more than if you were to do just a like 30 FPS, you know what I mean? But yeah. So yeah, that's kind of like one of the main updates I wanted to give tonight. Was like, hey, I've got a camera that I can like do stuff with, like a top-down camera that I can do stuff with. Like I would love to start rolling out some like board game related videos and stuff. D&D maybe, D&D related videos. Like that kind of stuff. Like I would love that. Let me see. I'll grab this. Yeah, I don't want to spoil too much, but I'll pan over real quick. Got a little project I'm working on. I don't know if you can see on the table. Some little figures. Some of them maybe look a little Dark Soulsy. But I'm finally actually taking the time. Like I've had that, and it's been something I've been wanting to do for a while. But I'm gonna finish painting those up. At least most of them. I'll finish painting most of them. But like that's another one. Like besides Hand of Fate Ordeals, like the Dark Souls board game. Yeah. I'm already thinking up ways that I can make that a jubilant run. It'd be the dumbest idea. Turning the Dark Souls board game into a jubilant percent, but honestly, it wouldn't be that hard, because the thing is, I mean, you already have your stats, they're basically Dark Souls. Your equipment is already randomized. The enemies that you come across are randomized. So if anything, the Dark Souls board game will be a even more randomized version of the jubilant percent run. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. But yeah, there's a bunch of board games and stuff that I would love to play. Whether it be that, like I said, Hand of Fate's great. I mean, even some other just like other just random things, you know what I mean? And even then, like, dude, I would not mind even doing a craft video just to throw it in there in the mix, you know? Do a little bit of clay work or something, you know, on stream. That'd be just something different, you know? Um, but yeah, and even then, like, I wouldn't even mind doing some card game stuff. I know I've mentioned, you know, in the past about like Magic the Gathering, stuff like that. While I'm not huge into it, and I basically am exclusive to uh, basically El Cheapo Popper League, aka I just go on to like oh, what's the website, like Magic, like I don't know, any of the Magic the Gathering like card reseller groups, you know, where like people just go on there and resell. Like I'll just go on those sometimes and just be like, all right, I want to look at all the cards that are either a cent or like 2 cents, and I'll just like stock up on some, just for the fun of it. Like honestly, I love the card art. Like the card art's great. Like that's honestly part. Like that's like one of the big draws for me. It's like there's so many different cards, and they're all just so cool. You know what I mean? Like they all look cool. And they actually started doing a like an art card collection where it's like just a full print of the cards, right? Like just a full art card, if that makes sense. But those are really cool. And those, yeah, you can find a bunch of the cheap ones for those. I mean, for like I said, like a cent. It's like, yeah, it's cool. Like I've actually used some of those cards for like reference in like D&D and stuff before. You know, it's like if I know that it's something similar to like what we're looking at. Like, yeah, I'll sometimes use the Magic the Gathering, like, you know, full art cards, like, you know, to kind of show off, like, oh, well, you know, it's something like this or something like that, you know? And it's like, that's, I don't know, it's cool. But I like that kind of stuff. So, I'm actually glad that I'm, you know, went ahead and got this camera. Like, it's better than I thought it was going to be. Like I said, it was $50. And I'm just like, you know, it works. It's like not only that, it's $50 for the camera plus the tripod and everything to set it up for like top down. Like it's for what you get, like it's actually pretty impressive. Like I'm surprised honestly, but hey, a good surprise though. A good surprise. Um but yeah, anyway, I need to be getting to work here soon. I'll probably chat for a little bit longer. Yeah, it's almost 9 o'clock my time, so figure I'll give it until roughly then, and I'll go ahead and get on back to work, and then get on back to sleeping, as one do, pretty much on a daily basis, ideally on a daily basis. So that's pretty much where we're gonna be. Hopefully I can get work done. So, yeah, work's been good lately. It's been a bit hectic, honestly. Just trying to get everything wrapped up. We still have a little bit of a backlog from last year, which, I don't know. It's unfortunately like we're kind of in the phase of it now, and it stinks because a lot of people are kind of like playing the blame game, if that makes sense, where you basically have like, oh, this person's saying that this person should have done something, or I don't know. Like I'm kind of the perspective that we just all kind of messed it up in our own ways. Uh, we we all messed up by allowing certain things to sort of not happen the way they should have, like, and not call people out on it. You know, it's like because you know, and I feel like some people like to, some people. I mean, even myself sometimes. Like we like to cut corners with things sometimes. You know what I mean? But not like such that it would like mess with the quality of the final product. You know what I mean? But it could lead to issues that so say like if I pass the project off to somebody else, they might have an error because of what I didn't do or because of the way I did it. They aren't going to know the way I did it. So they might do it a different way, and that's going to make it wrong, if that makes sense. So that's kind of the problem. A lot of us, you know, in our group, we all do stuff our own way, and it's good ways. Like it's ways that do save on time, right? But the problem is the way that each of us kind of does our job. It's not really compatible with some of the other people, you know, with other people within the team. So you ultimately end up with a lot of uh, you end up with a lot of situations where it's like I'll do something, the person that I hand it off to starts doing it their way, but because I did it my way, they're doing it their way, and it results in yeah, you know what I'm trying to say. Um, More or less, it just results in somebody getting it wrong. You know, and that's kind of where we're at now. We're kind of in the final phase of a lot of these projects. You know, some of the backlog. Like we're in the final phase, and we're kind of at the point now where these projects have passed through hands so many times that it's difficult, and certain people want to put blame on others, whereas I'm of the mind of like, let's just do what we have to do to finish. If we didn't do something we were supposed to do at the start, then let's just start over. Like let's just do what we should have done from the start and do it in a way that we all are able to follow along. Like we're all able to follow along and know what to do. Instead of, okay, well let's look at the end where we are now. Instead of doing that, let's well basically it's the idea of like, all right, well let's start from the start and redo it versus going from where we are at the end now, going from there and backtracking each step until we identify where the confusion was. The thing is, because ultimately, if we do that, we're going to be using a lot of time, and we might even end up going all the way back to the start anyway, which has actually been the case for a couple of these. You know what I mean? Where it's like, oh, something wasn't sent over correctly. It's like it didn't load. Like OneDrive just ate it. You know what I mean? Like OneDrive ate the file. You know, so we just ended up with something that wasn't complete. You know, so that's kind of where I'm at with it. Like I'm trying to push these forward, but it's difficult because a lot of the people are still kind of at the end phase when we should be looking back and just saying, all right, well, we know we're gonna have to do it. It's gonna be less time used if we just start back from the first step and then just do it from there, as opposed to starting at the end step and working our way back until we identify what the confusion was. Like I feel like that's just more. I feel like that's a lot more just like I said, just kind of just trying to identify like who messed up as opposed to like addressing the actual problem. And I'm not a fan of that, honestly. You know, and it's like, yeah, I might have made a mistake. Somebody might have made a mistake, but like I don't think that that's what we should be focusing on, honestly. And that's the annoying part. I'm here to do work. Like I'm here to, you know what I mean? Like you know, I get paid to work. Like I don't get paid to try to identify when somebody else doesn't do their work. You know what I mean? It's like that's just counterproductive. Like I just yeah, I don't know. It's just a little annoying to me, honestly. Because like I don't know. It's resources that just don't go utilized well. Just because you end up with a bunch of people just saying that they didn't, you know, didn't cause the problem, that they didn't do this or that, and you know it's making it to where they're not doing work, and then if we're looking back to see where the problem started, then ultimately it's like we're not doing work either. You know what I mean? So ultimately you end up with a bunch of people not doing work when we all could just start over and have it done far quicker. That's the frustrating part. And that's kind of where we're at right now, unfortunately. With some of this backlog, it's just like it's annoying. It's annoying to say the least. But yeah. On a brighter note, Granddad and Sis, like we've still been moving along with the Zelda, the Legend of Zelda campaign that we've been running for D&D. He's still been way into it. I was hoping to get with him sometime this week and do it, but I had some friends over. Actually, yeah, I had some friends over yesterday. It was actually yesterday. I had some friends over. We had a good time, but yeah, I want to be able to hang out with him more too. So I'll probably hit him up a couple days this weekend or something. That's why I want to get the work done tonight, honestly, so I can chill with him, the rest of this weekend. But that campaign's been going good. So I know that I started talking about it. I don't know if I finished the other night. But so they were able to get through their first dungeon, the Tomb of the Silver Knight. So they were able to complete that, which was really cool. The final boss of that little segment was a Wizrobe, but it wasn't. It was a Wizrobe that I came up with, as opposed to like a Fire Wizrobe, an Ice Wizrobe, the typical ones, right? So it was basically like a Druid Wizrobe. It could control vines and stuff and plants. So he was like the main boss of sorts. I also he had a minion, that would assist him. Basically, this heavily armored, basically tank of a character, right? Because the Wizrobe himself like barely had any hearts, like he was super weak. But just because of like what he was able to stay away from the players, right? So you had this, this other character, this minion, that was it was a mix of a couple things, right? So it was a Stalfos, like you would see in like Ocarina of Time, right? Sort of armored, shield, sword, typical sword and board style. But instead of like a Stalfos head, right? Instead of like having a Stalfos head, it had a Deku Bubba. Like the plant things that chomp at you. It had one of those in place of like a Stalfos head. And like the Stalfos like itself was like covered up in like vines and stuff. But they really enjoyed that. They took a hint and helped defeat it a bit. They encountered a Deku Scrub, right? Earlier in the dungeon that actually told him that what was the name of the Wizrobe? Rawlbim, I think was what his name was. I think Rawlbim the Wizrobe. Yeah, I think that's correct. But yeah, they encountered a Deku Scrub earlier in the dungeon that told him that Rawlbim was afraid of fire. So they were able to utilize that a bit. So that was cool. So yeah, they finished that dungeon, which is really cool. They went back to the town of Mido. They were able to get back there. The town thanked them and then said that they should make their way out to Hyrule Castle to see what's going on there, right? So that's, and en route, they encountered a stone creature that they just were going to have nothing with. Kind of like a stone talus from Breath of the Wild, So they encountered that, but they just ran off. They knew that they weren't going to be able to beat it. I mean, the characters themselves are only level 3 at this point. By the time that they get to Hyrule Castle and do a few things, they'll reach level 4, but for now, level 3 might not be enough for taking on a big thing like that. But they also came across an old shrine. They were able to activate it because back in the previous dungeon, they had found a mysterious ball. They didn't know what it was for, but turns out, hey, it's a key. So they find the shrine, and they are tested by the trial of seasons. The trial of seasons. So what they needed to do, there was this basically a thing of dirt, right? There was a thing of dirt on the ground, and around the room was like a mural depicting like the changing of seasons. So they finally, it took them a little bit, but they figured it out. They put water on the soil. A plant began to grow. They directed light at it. Fortunately, in the previous dungeon, the Tomb of the Silver Knight, or the Tomb of the Silver Knights rather. Saki, the ranger, the Rito ranger, that my sister's playing. she actually found a harp that when played actually produces light. It also does some other stuff, but they don't know that yet. So let me check. Sorry, I was getting a message. I want to make sure everything was good. But yeah, so they found a harp and they actually played it, and that's what produced the light for the springtime, or well, it would have been summer transition. So after the summer transition, it goes into the fall transition, right? Like the plant's grown into an actual tree. So then after it actually grew, right? Fall hits, it starts to get colder. And I tried to like prompt them to take preventative measures, right? Basically, the fall time they should have been prepping for the winter time, especially considering the mural is like this huge blizzard. But yeah, the whole room like goes super cold. Blizzard starts up. They take a good bit of damage actually, just because of the exposure. Neither of them are really equipped to deal with exposure too much. I was expecting them to like at least cut a couple of branches off of the tree or something. But they ended up not doing that. Instead, they lit up their torches and kind of tried to just warm up as best they could. Although the elements were still pretty rough, they ended up losing some hearts from it. Yeah, we're using hearts instead of the traditional D&D system. Good old hearts instead of numbers, if you will. So they lost a few hearts, but they survived long enough to where the final door opened, and they were able to get out. But they ended up getting an item that they don't know what does yet, but I do. I'll update you guys on that at some later date, just in case somebody sees this that's not supposed to see it. Yeah, no spoilers to anybody out there. But yeah, no, they've been really enjoying the campaign. I've been enjoying the campaign. Like, it's really great, honestly. I was gonna say, actually, I can pan over. I actually got a map. Let me see. I actually got a map of Hyrule that we've been referencing. A Breath of the Wild style map of Hyrule there. There we go. So they actually, I've been trying to do like some visual stuff for him. You know what I mean? While he's trying to recover and everything, it's like, I want to make it cool for him. You know what I mean? Like I want to make it cool for him. So that's what I'm gonna try to do. But yeah, as far as any other updates related to CoopCouch Gaming, so yeah, I was gonna say it is 9:08. I'm already over my time, but as far as any other CoopCouch Gaming related updates, I know I'd already said about the new stream format as far as like, all right, we're gonna split the streams up, each stream, and that is reflected in Twitch now. So even if people show up late, they'll still be able to jump in and still feel like they're, I don't know, what's it good, kind of mid episode, if that makes sense. As opposed to like, I feel like especially like if you start a stream, by the time you get towards the end, like people that join in like feel kind of lost. Like any of the humor that you've already built up kind of is like lost to them, because like you kind of have to like rebuild, stuff that you've already said. Whereas if you like doing it the shorter like split up streams like that, like even if they are back to back, right? You can kind of play off of different. You could start up new jokes. You could start up new lines of dialogue. You don't necessarily have to feel like you have to like stay on the one same bit like the whole time. You know what I mean? I did a test run the other night, Reciteer. We hadn't played that for a good while. But yeah, I actually played Reciteer the other night, and like we came across this bit, and it was a really great bit. But I knew that I didn't want to like stay on it forever. So like it was actually really nice to be able to see like, okay, so we had this bit, like it was in episode 4. The Louis baked yam and the old man yam. Yeah, the blessed and the cursed yam. So that bit was great, but I know I didn't want to like, because I was just like, if I knew that this was just gonna be like one huge stream, right, as opposed to like split up episodes, like I would have probably just kept rolling on that like the rest of the night. But I knew that I didn't really want to. Like, I want to keep it kind of, I want to keep things rolling. So yeah, by the time, episode 4 ended and then episode 5 started like right after, right? So episode 5, I made some reference to it, like, but it was more of like a referential thing of like, it kind of built more naturally as opposed to like me just like pushing the same bit. It was like me pushing a bit that already happened. Um, and I feel like that just draws more attention to like, oh, okay, well, there's this. It's not as much of an inside joke, is maybe the good way to put it. As opposed to if you do one huge stream, like a lot of people aren't going to watch one huge stream, and a lot of the jokes that you build off of, into the next one are going to be lost because, some people that didn't watch aren't going to know. You know what I mean? So you end up having a bunch of bits that you keep rolling with that nobody knows, as opposed to doing it episodically. You can establish a bit and then move on to the next bit, the next episode, and maybe reference the previous bit later down the road. You know what I mean? Um, yeah, like I really like the format. I'm pretty classic YouTube myself, like, and I'm classic YouTube, so that just flows more naturally for me as opposed to like the longer form stream where you have kind of, I don't know. It's weird. There's a number of streamers that like I even watch occasionally, right? And I feel like there's a lot of silence. It's weird. And maybe that's the new format. Is like you just have like just moments of silence. Like everything's just kind of like it just flows into, it just kind of flows, right? You don't have to have somebody doing dialogue the whole time. Like maybe that's what people want to see now. But I don't know. It just I'm pretty old school YouTube, I guess. Even Mitchell, like I was watching back some of the solo stuff that he was doing like the SpongeBob and stuff. Like yeah, there were moments of silence, but for the most part, like he kept dialogue going, whether it be game related or otherwise, like pretty much the whole time. Whereas a lot of streams now, I feel like, are a lot of like, especially like if you're just playing a video game, you pretty much only play the video game, and if chat says something, like you respond to chat, right? I don't feel like, yeah, it's weird. And I guess, kind of doing the old school YouTube format, I guess it made more sense because you ended up having, like, you weren't recording to somebody live. You were recording this for entertainment purposes down the road. And I don't know, and that's kind of what we are doing here at CoopCouchGaming, honestly. Like, while we do the live content, that's more of just like just a side effect. Like that's just the way that we wanted to do it. Is just like, oh, we can live stream and interact with people. But the main goal of CoopCouch was really just to, or rather really is just to like have an archive of like fun stuff that we've done and be entertaining about it. Like make it entertaining and fun to watch down the road. Like, that's the main goal. So I feel like having the more traditional YouTube format works better for like the CoopCouch formula, if that makes sense. But yeah, no, I like the split up. In short, of what I just said, I like the new format with the split up streams. I know I'm not really gonna be able to do that tonight. I gotta go to work. It's 9:15 already. But we will be doing it this weekend. So we got Saturday. That's gonna be good, dude. Nights of Pen and Paper. I'm looking forward to Nights of Pen and Paper, man. Like I haven't thought of that. Like And like I said, like I found that old YouTube video from like back in like early high school that I did. Um, yeah, like it's just nostalgia for me. So I want to do that. Knights of Pen and Paper. Like we're gonna do that tomorrow, and then Sunday we're gonna be doing some Elden Ring, Souls like Sunday, of course. So yeah, we have quite the lineup going for us. Reciteer, you've already seen the first episode drop. That's going to keep dropping until it basically the way it is, one episode every week. But the way I see it though, once we actually do have a nice set of streams that we can push, right? Like you figure, by the time we do the stream tomorrow and then Sunday, we'll end up with we'll end up with a number of episodes, which gives us the ability to work on the best ofs. Also, you would have seen by now, hopefully, you would have seen the first, the first new best of that I've done in a while. It dropped. I found a new program, so that's nice. Yeah, so I'm working with that. So far it's been good. I've already started to edit the next one. So we'll see how that turns out. That's going to be a lot of jump cuts though, because that was the Ornstein and Schmoog fight. So that's, if you remember the Ornstein and Schmoff fight. Oh boy, we spent an entire episode, like an entire stream, on nothing but that. Like it was ridiculous. We spent like what 4 hours trying to fight that. Trying to fight that boss sequence. It was like, man, that was ridiculous, man. So that's gonna be fun to edit as I just watch us get destroyed over and over. Like the way that I've been editing it so far, I've been editing it to where at least a little bit of like right before we get destroyed, right? Like right before we get a you died sequence, right? I've been like doing jump cuts of like each one of those. And like by the end, like I want to do like a counter that pops up, right? Of like how many deaths we had to Ornstein and Schmo. Like it had to be the most out of any of the other ones. Like there was nothing that gave us as hard a time as that fight. Like no joke. So that was yeah. So yeah, yeah, like I said, we do the 2 streams tomorrow. That means we'll be pushing 3 YouTube videos a week. At that point, we'll have the one Reciteer that'll be going out. We'll have Elden Ring, episode going out, and we'll have Knights of Pen and Paper episode going out. And we'll have that going out for the next few weeks. So, even if we stream every other week, we'll be pushing a good number of YouTube videos at that point. If we do every other week, we'd basically, well, it depends. If we did, unless we stagger the streams, right? We would still be releasing those at the same rate. But if we did, Elden Ring and Knights of Pen and Paper tomorrow, and then 2 weeks from now we would roll with, something else, that means in theory we could end up with, releasing 5 episodes of content on YouTube for basically per streaming weekend. Per streaming weekend, more or less. Because it's just gonna build on itself. The more that we stream, as far as like the episodes for the streams, you'll end up with a nice little backlog of YouTube stuff. Like the one Reciteer videos out now. You have already seen it posted Wednesday. You'll see the next one post next Wednesday, and then the Wednesday after that, you'll have another Reciteer episode. So even if we're taking each series and doing one episode at a time, we'll eventually get to the point where we are uploading a episode each week of several different series, and that will be really nice. Like I'll like to see that. Because like dropping in a huge stream, wow, it's like while it's just, so you take a huge stream, right? You take a 4 or 5 hour stream, right? The way I see it, and the way I've kind of felt about it, honestly, by doing that, it's almost like you take the stream and just like you do the stream, and then for the archive, you just say you just kind of bum rush it. You just like you take the stream as soon as you're done, you download it, you put it on YouTube, and then you forget about it. You know what I mean? It becomes like stale content at that point. It's just like it's there to exist until like down the road eventually I'm able to do an edit. You know? So by doing the shorter clips, like the shorter episodes, doing 45-minute episodes, it doesn't require me to have to do huge edits right away for it to like stay relevant as far as like the archive, because you take, some of our streams are like 6 hours. It's like most people aren't going to watch a 6-hour stream like in an archive that's not live anymore. You know what I mean? So by splitting it up, it makes it better it makes it easier to edit down the road. So in other words, and again to sort of reiterate what I've already been saying this whole time, I like the new format. I like the new split up format. It'll be easier. It'll be a lot more digestible. It's nice. It's really nice. Plus, like I said, if we're only streaming every other or even every third sometimes, week, that will give me time to do some edits while we're not doing streams every week. While it would be cool to do streams every week, it's realistically not really viable as far as like just everything, especially everything going on now. Like about a month ago or so when I said that I was doing the schedule change and stuff with the pushing a certain amount of content, it's like things change between work, personal stuff, like it's different. So but no, if we can at least still push content, still push like new streams, get episodes made, then we can post those to YouTube and stagger how we're releasing them, right? So we don't end up with like nothing getting released. Like we'll always have episodes that are going out in either case. Especially with the new camera, the new top-down camera. You know what I mean? Like that will. I mean, we could do some new stuff with that. You know what I mean? I'm looking forward to doing some board games and things like that. Plus down the road, once Mitchell's able to rejoin and stuff, we had discussed doing a D&D campaign. So hey, I've got a little bit of a camera that I can use to stream stuff to him. If we're putting stuff on a table or whatever. So yeah, it's all cool. It's all cool. All right, that's enough updates for the night. I'm getting tired, and that's not good, 'cause I've still got work to do tonight. So I will catch you guys here tomorrow, unless anything comes up, in which case I'll give you fair warning. Today was just kind of sporadic. It was just like, I don't feel like doing anything. But yeah, so tomorrow, I should be good. Sunday we should be good. So yep, Knights of Pen and Paper tomorrow, Elden Ring Sunday. So yeah, we are pretty good. All right, well, that being said, good night, everybody. I shall see all you people tomorrow then. All you Coop operatives out there, whoever else happened to join me on the couch today. Oh, look, it's a couch. Oh, you can sit at the couch. But yeah, thanks for joining me on the couch today. Yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow then. Bye-os. Bye-zo.